What is water scarcity? The unavailability of sufficient clean water to meet personal, domestic, and industrial requirements in an area is called water scarcity. We usually associate the problem of water scarcity with dry, hot regions like deserts that receive scanty rainfall and have very few sources of clean surface water. Here is a map that shows projected water scarcity in the world by the year 2025. As you can see, water scarcity is set to become a serious problem in the whole of India. Not all regions that face water scarcity have poor water resources. What leads to water scarcity in regions that have abundant water resources? An increase in demand, unequal access to water, overexploitation, and contamination of existing water resources are the main factors that lead to water scarcity in regions with abundant water resources. Let us study these factors in detail. This brings us to the question: what are the main causes of water scarcity? India has the second highest population in the world, which is still increasing fast. An increase in population means a greater demand for fresh water for personal and domestic use. To feed the increasing population, more and more land is brought under cultivation. This also increases the demand for water for irrigation purposes. Since independence, India has seen a major industrial revolution. Rapid industrialization exerts greater demand on water resources. Since industries use a huge quantity of water for production and cleaning. Over 70% of India's population still lives in villages. However, people living in cities have better access to water than people living in most villages. This unequal access to water resources also leads to water scarcity. Groundwater is an important freshwater resource. However, in order to increase their produce, most farmers today use private tube wells to irrigate their fields. This overexploitation of underground water is leading to falling water table and water scarcity. Similarly, the use of bore wells by modern housing societies to provide water to their residents is also overexploitation of underground water resources. Freshwater sources like rivers and lakes are often treated as dumping grounds for domestic and industrial waste. This pollutes the fresh water and makes it unfit for our use. Such contamination of fresh water also contributes to water scarcity. The use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in modern agriculture leads to pollution of fresh surface water and groundwater. Fresh water is a limited resource and essential for our health and well-being, for growing crops to ensure our food security, and running our industries for economic growth. Thus, there is a pressing need to conserve and manage our water resources.